How's it going, everyone? This is Psycho Blue, conductor of the Hype Train, Mr. Hype Gems, hashtag Crosswires, hashtag WWE All-Stars. Yes, this is not a mistake. WWE All-Stars is back thanks to the wonders of Parsec cloud servers and improvements in emulation, particularly on the PS3 end. We have a budding community, and this is our debut here on NYCFurby. I figure what better way to give back for all Arturo has done for the FGC by sharing with him this footage of 09er goodness. This came out in 2011, so it was at this point coming out in a crowded market between Mortal Kombat, Marvel vs. Capcom 3. There was also the Street Fighter 4 update. Cross Tekken was on the way. Tekken Tag 2 was on the way. So this game did not get much shine, and the fact that the online servers shut down didn't help matters. But I wrote the SRK guide for this game a long time ago, so it's nice to see the foundation that I helped write out back then on SRK develop and take full bloom in this first of 5 that I'm about to show you between VsTheJanitor and Jonny D. And we are going to get started on that right now. So, VsTheJanitor is one of the preeminent lab monsters for WWE All-Stars in the last few weeks on Twitter. And Jonny D recently joined us as well. I don't know about his online profile for the tech he develops, but nevertheless, him and VsTheJanitor are going to be in this first of 5 exhibition that will showcase not just the mechanics, but a lot of the cast, including the DLC characters. Jonny D is playing Stone Cold, VsTheJanitor is going ham with Eddie Guerrero. So here is how this works. So there are 4 attack buttons. There's Light Strike, Heavy Strike, and Light Grab, Heavy Grab. And depending on the class that your character is in, they will have access to certain universal mechanics that are tied specifically to their class. Nice, that was a running signature. You see, for each life bar, there are 3 stalks of meter as well as a separate meter on the corner of that bar. So the signature bar is what's at the bottom of the life bar, and the finisher bar is what's on the side of it. Good reversal. So this is another thing that makes this game unique. Grabs can be reversed at certain times with the L1 button, while strikes can be blocked or, if you have good timing, parried with the R1 button. And this is very important because not every string you're seeing is true. They can be parried or reversed out of different points, just like with Def Jam 5 for New York. In fact, I remember when I first played Def Jam, I actually played it much later in my life than I should have. It reminded me much of this game. So if you're a Def Jam 5 for New York fan, this game might be up your alley. And I do believe this is going to be game 1 for Jonny D. So here's how this works. So you saw he has a finisher. Once you have enough stock to install your finisher, not only does it do a lot of damage, but if your opponent is the flashing red health, a finisher will KO them and the game will go to you. Game 1 goes to Jonny D. Additionally, now we got it underway. There are 4 classes. Eddie Guerrero is what's called an acrobat. That means they'll have the ability to bounce off the ropes. They're quicker on their feet. They don't have great combos, but their springboard ability and their top rope stuff stands above the others. And they're also quick to get in and out of the ring. Stone Cold is a brawler. Brawlers all your strike-heavy combo characters. Stone Cold's a brawler, and these 2 characters are grapplers. Grapplers are known for having chain grabs like King in Tekken. Every grappler has chain grabs of some kind they can rely on. Additionally, they have a lunging animation for their strong grabs, and they can also reversal or break reversal out of grabs better than most. So this is a battle of grapplers in that they have the chain grabs, and because of that, it's going to be harder to break their stuff than usual. Additionally, when some characters parry or break throws, they get special animations different from the rest of the cast. And that's called a superior parry or superior counter. Okay, Jake the Snake is some... Alright, we're getting started right now. You saw a chain grab right there. Lots of damage from the start from Mr. Perfect. Nice. He didn't break it, so that's a stun. Even though every character shares a class with others, their move lists are very unique, as are their game plans. So even though both Jake the Snake and Mr. Perfect are grapplers, their game plans are going to be very different. Mr. Perfect's going to be trying to do the king stuff more than Jake Roberts, who'll be relying on his grabs to set up stuns, so he can continue delivering pain and setups as needed. Look at that. That was one of the many chain grabs that Mr. Perfect has. Oh, a juggle right there. All right. And the thing about those chain grabs, just like in Tekken, you can break them mid-grab if you have their reversal timing down. It's not a situation where you need the right button, you just need the right timing. So far, this seems to be all Mr. Perfect. Jake Roberts getting out of dodge. And I had it wrong before. VsTheJanitor was Stone Cold, not Jonny D. Jonny D was Eddie Guerrero. So right now in this first of 5, VsTheJanitor is up, and he is playing Jake Roberts. Jonny D, however, is well on his way to tying this. Look at that. You saw him, that's another unique thing that grapplers have. When they... Oh, no, there's a stun. There's a problem because he has signature, and that sets up knockdown situations. Oki is very strong in this game, and Oki can very much determine what the flow of the match will be. In certain situations, you can't break some of those grounded animations, so it's free damage. Got him again. The thing about Jake the Snake is that even though he is a grappler, his strikes are stronger than normal. Ooh, that's nice. That's actually very clever. So for running animations, running takes meter, by the way. Running takes the signature meter. And you have unique attacks from that, just like you would in Def Jam. Couldn't break the chest scratch again. Got it. Oh, he wants that juggle. But he can't convert off of it. Got another knockdown. Everything's working great for Jake the Snake right now. Again, even though he is a grappler, his strikes are above average for grapplers. Mr. Perfect want to get fancy with running. He still can't break it. So again, we're on Parsec, so the timing is going to be different than you would have offline. This is a dedicated cloud server to have some semblance of an even ground, but it's not perfect. There's a reason why, after all this, we still prefer rollback. Let's try another grab. He still can't break the scratch. This might be it. What a comeback from VsTheJanitor. It's done. So when you see them on the ground glowing red, that means if you have a finisher, they'll automatically stand up into it. VsTheJanitor is now up 2-0. Again, being this was somewhat on the fly, I didn't enforce the winner keeps their character rule. So, no worries. And again, I hope you guys are enjoying the show so far. This game is so much fun, and again, I'm glad we're in a situation because technology has moved to a point where we can promote this game more. Because we couldn't, because the servers were dead for the last several years. And the other ports for this game, like on PS2 and the Wii, weren't complete. There are a lot of moves that are only in the PlayStation 3 and 360 version, so they're not accurate ports. Now we have an accurate port we can play on and play each other on. Again, thanks to the wonders of Parsec and cloud servers and improvements in emulation. That being said, if anybody from WWE is watching this and you're getting upset about us emulating these games, just re-release it on modern consoles with working netcode and better netcode, and we won't have a problem. But for now, this is what we've got to deal with. Okay. Both The Rock and Roddy Piper are brawlers. That means they're going to be very combo heavy with their strikes. Now, Roddy Piper is a very fun character. And, again, they're combo-heavy characters. They excel in their strings, not their chain grabs. So they're going to be doing those Def Jam-style combos into strikes or combos into grabs, depending how you are blocking or not blocking. Keep in mind, not every combo is a true combo. They'll be pointing to interrupt. Good reversal for The Rock, and a good reversal from Roddy Piper. Yeah, you can reversal their reversals, too. Your timing's good. And this is why it's important to mix up your combos. That way, they're less predictable to break if you put a throw in. Roddy Piper being cheesy now. Again, you can break those backdrops that he's doing, but the timing is strict. Oh, good! So that time, Roddy Piper, you saw there was a red X next to The Rock. What Roddy Piper did is that he pressed L1 the same time or before The Rock did. So that means Jonny actually prevented The Rock from reversing, or it cuts down the reversal time significantly. Right there. Jonny D has absolutely been playing this character a lot. Then this time, VsTheJanitor put it right back on Jonny by blocking his reversal. Another running backdrop that's been very effective so far. Try for running signature. Nobody home. Rock bounces the ropes and lunges at him. Big juggle. He missed. All right, this is a setup that VsTheJanitor's been trying to hit. I saw him do it a lot on Twitter. Oh, that's a stun. That's a free signature right there. Yeah, there's a setup after you saw Rock go for like that low blow. That's a setup that leads to an additional stun for more damage and combos. But he just missed the timing of it. This has been all Roddy Piper. He might have this. This is a one-color victory. Good reversal again. This is it. One-color victory. Jonny D's on the board for Roddy Piper. So brutal. Crack! Look at that. Got him with the Bayman sleeper. Good stuff to Roddy the Piper. How will this shift? Yeah, if you're wondering why I'm breathing so heavily, I got done with a workout not too long ago. It was weight day. So I am feeling relieved. My sensory needs have been properly annulled, and I got swole for a few minutes. All shall be well as we go to our next match. Now we got the big man class. That is Big Show, Andre the Giant, Kane, and Mark Henry. There's only 4 big men in the game. Big men are your giants. They're your Abigails. They got big limbs. They can store unblockables. They have unique juggles, but their reversal timing and their parry timing is lower compared to others because they're not quite as coordinated as their smaller competitors. Miz, on the other hand, is a grappler. Miz, however, is unique in that a lot of he's a hybrid. Like, he has a lot of good strike combos as well. Kind of like Jake the Snake, but rather than go for stuns, he's going to be going for situations where he will be trying to roll you up by surprise. And if you're lower on health, roll-up pins can be really strong. They can end the match earlier than a KO. And because he is a grappler, that means those roll-up pin attempts are harder to break than others. Nice. That's actually a pretty hard thing to break because the animation looks so weird. And the thing about Miz's combos when it comes to his chain grabs is that he doesn't have that many of them compared to other characters in his class. So a lot of his stuff will be coming from strikes. And he does have some strikes that lead into, got him again with the signature, he does have some strikes that lead into chain grabs. So if you can keep eyes on that, it's good. Big Show got him. This is a big problem. Because watch, go for this. And, oh, missed it. So if he hits that backbreaker, he can just frame it to add a Samoan drop at the end. It does huge damage. Very important to any big man game, especially Big Shows. I don't think Miz is going to give him the chance here. This is to see who is the leader of SHEAMUS, and Miz is right now stating why he was the main guy in that. Got him. And again, Miz does not have many chain grabs. Even though some of them look like they should be, a lot of his ability is to keep opponents locked down because his stuff is so hard to break. Oh, Miz popped it. So he was expecting that red stun at the end. So his finisher's gone. He popped it too soon. Big Show in big trouble, though. Got him. That's smart. So this is big because now he has that knockdown. But again, there's not enough. He doesn't have finisher. He's trying to figure out what he needs to do. He's going to go for a signature because signature builds a ton of finisher. Good reverse from Big Show. He's in bad spot right now. He has no signature either. Now he does. This is big. But not big enough. Talk about big men. Right now the big man's being cut down to size. Now it's time. See, he waited for that red stun right there. And you saw Big Show try and break out of it. If you time it just right, you can break that finisher. But it is hard to do, especially in that situation setup. Miz takes it, and now Jonny D is tied at 2. We didn't see any of Miz's chain grabs because, again, they are tied into his strike combos. And doesn't have that many of them compared to other people in his class. Henry at this point. Mark Henry's a big man, but he fights nothing like Big Show because Big Show has regular parries, but Mark Henry, I mentioned earlier that big men have a harder time parrying and blocking compared to other characters. Not Mark Henry. Mark Henry has that superior counter, that superior parry, and that makes his parries that much more devastating because he has big man, all the power that goes with it. Drew McIntyre is all strikes. He has a lot of strikes. He has some grabs. He's a very basic character. This is a character I recommend if you have never played All-Stars before. You just want an idea of the general mechanics. Drew McIntyre is, as a brawler, he has good strikes, and his strikes have a decent amount of grab options from those strikes. His damage is modest, and his signatures don't require any extra thinking to set up. So if you're a beginner, Drew McIntyre might be your guy just to learn the basics of WWE All-Stars. He might be your Ryu when it comes to... Ryu is always the first character you should learn if you want to learn the general basics of the game. However, Mark Henry does not seem keen on giving Drew McIntyre a chance to show you. But that's a good start. Simple strike combo and a wake-up grab. Mark Henry breaks it. And the thing about big men, some big men have true combos, some don't. Mark Henry has a harder time, but his grabs are great. He doesn't have too many... See, that's a... Right there, you saw that. That is what we call the superior counter that Mark Henry has. Other characters don't. Another good counter from Mark Henry. Counter the counter, go for the stomp. That stomp is a juggle starter, by the way. That leads into that backbreaker stuff you saw earlier. Keeping it simple. And again, it's imperative that Drew McIntyre mixes up the grabs in his strikes, because if he gets too predictable in how he's ending them, that could lead to a parry, lead to a hard knockdown, which leads him flashing red, because Mark Henry, if Drew McIntyre is in the flashing red, good knockdown. This is a special part for Mark Henry. When you hit him with moves like that, sometimes characters juggle. Mark Henry will just fall down like that because he's too heavy to get juggled. It has that Takahashi type of mechanic to him. Drew McIntyre has a long mountain to climb. He cannot afford to get knocked down at any point, whether it be with a strike or with a grab. If he does, that's the end. Jonny D is, all right, flashing red. Mark Henry just needs a knockdown, and that will be the match. Drew McIntyre not making it easy, though. He has covered crazy ground. Uh-oh, this is it. No, it's not. Wrong throw. Wrong throw. Oh, no. So he threw him out of the ring, and Mark Henry didn't chase after him. If he did, he could have done a finisher. What we got here? Okay, weapons. So this is a regular match. Let me tell you how weapons work in regular matches. Oh, good break. Very super clutch break. That would be the end right there. Drew McIntyre's still in this. And he gets a signature. That is really important, because now Mark Henry's in a bad spot. Okay, with the chair, you can hit them up to 3 times and then you're DQ. That's 1. Excuse me. That's 2. Oh, we got it! We got it! He did it! He did it! What a comeback from Jonny D and Drew McIntyre. What a comeback! Greatest moments in fighting game history right there. Jonny D takes a 3-2 lead over Janitor. Holy Toledo. Again, because they're big men, they're going to do that much more damage. And we're going to have a battle of the giants right now, or battle of the super heavyweights. Mark Henry is wide, but he's not particularly tall. VsTheJanitor is keen on sticking with Mark Henry right now, and I don't blame him. Mark Henry is a very strong character, and he's underrated because, again, when he came out, the servers were about to be shut down, and the game was already being moved on from with all the other fighting games on the way. So if Mark Henry can... It's also good because Andre has such slow strikes, they're easier to react to. Still can't get the Samoan drop out to the back. Again, it's a just frame after the landing. Look at all the damage Mark Henry has done already to Andre the Giant. That is the benefit of being a big man. And you're seeing him store yellow. We missed this before, because I was talking about Drew McIntyre, but every big man can store an unblockable by holding back and strong punch and wait for them to shake your hand and then store it. Andre can't hit it either. And what makes... So much pain. What makes Mark Henry's unique is that he caused an earthquake, and that has crazy range. And it leads to that juggle state that leads there, right there. He still can't hit the backbreaker. That's the earthquake. That is hard to avoid. And again, it's unblockable. It's unique to Mark Henry. Andre and Big Show, when they store their unblockables, they have a big wall bouncing punch. They still can't hit it. He went for... That's another unique thing for big men. They can hold back and heavy grab to do a turnbuckle toss, which leads to a long stun to the corner. Additionally, when you are cornered in the turnbuckle, slumped over, that leads to a special stun state. He got him. He got him right there clean. A long grab, and he faked out Andre the Giant. That should be the game, and this will be the game for VsTheJanitor. It's now tied at 3. And the world's strongest slam, here we go. Mark Henry has tied it at 3, avenging his loss against Drew McIntyre by taking out Andre the Giant. Good stuff all around right now. What a thriller this has been so far. There's so many things I want to talk to you about with this game. And I want to thank Arturo for hosting this and spreading the word that WWE All-Stars is back. And we have some dedicated players right now. Like, these are only 2 of them. We're small, but we are growing rapidly, and we do intend on having more exhibitions on Arturo's channel, or even his live stream, once Capcom Cup is done. As right now, both Arturo and I are preparing for Capcom Cup and CPT finals. I'll be there on some some business, and Arturo will be there to compete. So I'm looking forward to seeing him in person again. Looking forward to seeing all of my Street Fighter faithful once more. I haven't seen you guys since... if I haven't seen you at a major, I saw you last at Capcom 2019. And that was a long time ago. That was just for the pandemic. I want to see how much of my brethren have shifted since then, now that the borders across the world are opening again on a more widespread basis. That means I'm more likely to see some of my overseas friends and family. In 2022, we hadn't all reopened just yet. 2023, though, it's looking good. Things are starting to go back to normal. This is interesting. Big Boss Man is a brawler with some big man properties, while Michael Hayes, obviously, he's a joke character. A lot of his stuns just lead to more taunts, and his taunts don't really build meter like other taunts do. And just the way he plays, how he has all these stuns that don't lead to anything. He's not particularly good either with his strikes or his grabs either. He's a brawler, so he does have the basics. But he does have that, the running lariat. That is one of his signatures. While running, press both likes. Big Boss Man getting bullied right now. Again, Michael Hayes is not a strong character. Again, I think he's the joke character, just based on how much taunting he doesn't lead to anything, and how he has all these not particularly scary moves that he does that would lead to scary situations otherwise if he wasn't going to auto taunt. That has no benefit other than just showing off. Boy! See? That would have been a free signature right there. Oh, too far away. He tried to go for the storage strike. Not storage strike. It's a charge strike. That's unique to brawlers. Back and heavy punch, or back and heavy strike, lead to a unique unblockable strike. Whether it be that Shoryuken you saw, or that charge punch that Drew McIntyre did earlier. I got him with the lariat again. Just grazed him. Michael Hayes may not have a deep toolkit, but what he does have, if he's got the meter for it, he can make you hurt, because those signature strikes are harder to break than signature grabs. Signature grabs you can parry out of like anybody else, but the timing is unique compared to every single other kind of signature he has with the strike. That is a signature grab, and Boss Man in trouble. This is it. This is it. Michael Hayes does it and takes out Big Boss Man. DDT, nothing fancy about it. That Freebird looking fabulous right now because Johnny D is on set point.
If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
But yeah, if I saw you at Combo Breaker last year, and I saw you at Capcom Cup, I hope I see you guys again. Might as well keep it going. For those I haven't seen since Capcom Cup 2019, it'll be good to see you after so long, and I hope the last 3 years and change, almost 4 years, the last 3 years and change have been good to you. As we celebrate the end of Street Fighter V and the birth of Street Fighter VI. For now, though, back to WWE All-Stars, Randy Savage and Stone Cold. VsTheJanitor feels like, let me go back to this character and try and save this first to 5. Randy Savage might be the single best character in the game, at least out of the base cast. But Stone Cold Steve Austin, however, seems like he wants to show why he is a main eventer, not Randy Savage. Randy Savage is an acrobat. He's a high flyer, so his rope spring isn't as good as others, but he makes up for much better strike combos. Like, he has, bar none, the best strike combos of any acrobat. So he's a high flyer, he's an acrobat with the move list of a brawler. That's very important to setting up his game plan, because he also has an unblockable strike attack that's harder to break than a signature grab. signature strike attack, I mean. Different from what I was talking about earlier with the charge grab. However, Austin also has a running strike attack, the Luthez press. You had to be on your toes whenever either Stone Cold or Randy Savage start running at you when they have signature. This is probably what's coming. He's going for it. He missed it. Oh, good parry! I said earlier you can parry those things. The timing's different, but you can parry those. Try to go to that axe handle. That axe handle is a juggle starter. Great parry. And there we go. That's that rope spring I was talking about with high flyers. And there is that juggle starter from neutral strong strike, the axe handle. Another one. And he stops him in the air with some jabs. Very smart of Stone Cold. That's how you beat some of those spring cycles in neutral, because if they're doing it to you as you're waking up, you can't strike in time, you'll still get hit. If Savage get a hard knockdown, he can start that cycle with the rope spring. It won't be as good as others, but it's something. It's a good way to test to see how much your opponent knows. He won't have a chance, though. Oh, he was close, but not close enough. Stunner, tied it 4. Next game, we'll take it. Versus the Janitor, Jonny D putting on a 5-star classic right now. It is anyone's set. Who will take home the bacon in our first exhibition? Other character I think is best the game. It's him and Savage. That was always the argument for the base cast. Who's best character? It always came down to those two characters. Sheamus is a brawler. He has some of the best combos in the game when it comes to his strings. And he also has a number of signature strike attacks that are harder to break than signature grabs. This is notable because his bro kick, he can do mid-string, which makes it really, really difficult to break because you can hide it behind the block stun of the string that you hit them with. And that could be a problem. Look at this, it keeps going. He has so many true strikes as well. Like, a lot of the strike combos for every character, you can block them after a certain point, but Sheamus has so many strings, he can just mash on true combo. So if you get hit, every hit's going to count. Or most every hit will count until it gets to the part where it's not true anymore. So he has long, true strings. Just like in Tekken, where that's a commodity, so it is in WWE All-Stars. Mark Henry using his superior counter to stop a lot of the stuff Sheamus is doing to him. Sheamus does it back, though. Wild strike, get Sheamus away from grab range. But he got the grab right there, giving him those big Muay Thai knee lifts. Massive. Massive knee lifts on a massive man. And this is tough, yeah, this is smart, because you don't want to be stuck behind the turnbuckle for too long. Sheamus tried to go for a suicide dive, which Bob's to go for as well by running at the ropes outside and pressing light strike, but he did a little bit too early, so Mark Henry won the turn. And when Sheamus gets in, there could be an earthquake waiting for him. Right there. He still can't hit the just frame backbreaker. We'll have to practice the timing on this server. Oh, there we go! One of the two unblockable signature attacks that he has. The big war sword. Polish hammer. And if you're far enough, you can wind another one like that. That's 2, and look how much damage it did. Tremendous shit of momentum for Sheamus. This is going to bring Mark Henry close to the flashing red health. Not quite there yet. But this will. And the thing is, he didn't break it. This is it. This is going to lead the stun he wants as well. Right there. It's done. Jonny D wins your first WWE All-Stars exhibition on NYCFurby. Make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen, there is going to be plenty more of this in the future. But for now, Sheamus will be the last man standing, flinging Mark Henry to unconsciousness using the high cross powerbomb. Good stuff, Jonny D. Gotta love Sheamus. Gotta love WWE All-Stars.